Across to some more latest news which is coming in, and this is about the FBI chief's visit to Delhi and what exactly to expect in the midst of that complete investigation which is happening in US right now, and the failed assassination plot, the so-called assassination plot against Pannun. There's the visit by FBI chief, but sources suggest to CNN News 18 that this is not just about Pannun or the Khalistani elements, but broader strategic issues between the two countries and intelligence sharing, which has been a part of the culture between the two nations for a very long time. Let's cut across to some pointers that we can put out for you as far as this particular story is concerned. Let's go through them one by one. Strategic interests, of course, of the two countries, FBI chief to meet with his partners and associates. Exclusive information that our investigative editor Manoj Gupta continues to get for us. These are the strategic issues between the two countries that will be discussed during the meeting. Intelligence sharing is something which has been a trend between the two nations. If Pannun issue is raised, India to present its view. India has maintained consistently that there is no substantial evidence on record to put this case, to argue this case. India will raise the issue of terror activities by various groups as far as this particular matter is concerned, and India will submit the dossier against Pannun and K groups. My colleague Siddhant is joining us on the broadcast, giving us more details on the story. Siddhant, the broader context about the FBI chief's visit to India.
Well, look, first of all, this particular visit is a routine visit, point number one. Point number two, yes, the Pannun case is going to be discussed. India and US are the strategic partners. There is a security setup framework in which both nations share, intelligence and information with each other, and perhaps that is a very healthy process between the two nations. Now, India has never shied away in perhaps announcing that the committee has been formed to look into the allegations. Perhaps it was Justice Department in US which came up with a release, and post that India has looked into that issue and the committee has been set up. Reason being that it is related to the transnational criminals. It is related to the nexus, the gun runners, and time and again India and US cooperate on such subjects. So, given that point, this particular committee has been formed. India has welcomed any sort of intelligence or input sharing. In fact, input has already been shared. Also, I'm calling this a routine visit of FBI chief. Reason being, there are a lot of other issues, also strategic issues, which are going to be discussed. And most important, one is also going to be the fake call centers that are perhaps mushrooming in India, and and a lot of Americans and Europeans are being affected because of that. So that is again one issue that will come up during FBI directors meet with Indian counterparts. So this visit is going to cover large number of bilateral and strategic issues. One of the issue is going to be the issue of Pannun, and also remember, India also had several issues to flag off with the US government. If you remember the case of the San Francisco consulate, which was gutted and set on fire by unknown hooligan in San Francisco. And in fact, as far as the activities of Pannun is concerned, India has already apprised US of his activities and the way he has been openly issuing threats regarding India and has been involved in crimes in India. So that particular dossier, that particular issue will also be raised by India, and perhaps US FBI official will be apprised of his activities, his links, and how he's openly threatening to blow up in Air India flight, and perhaps.
Siddhant, is it also important for us to have a broader perspective and understand and divorce the Pannun issue for a second, and see the broader cooperation that the two nations have had as far as intelligence sharing is concerned? Yes, in the last few months we have seen, ever since the diplomatic tensions between India and Canada are high, the US has been in a position where on certain issues where it has tried to create a balance, it still has had to take a position. Now, this is a prosecution, it's a case going on, a legal battle on the US soil. But as far as India and US are concerned, we maintain good relations, strategic common interests and areas that the two countries continue to explore.
Absolutely. And look, even if you will speak to a US diplomat or perhaps somebody who is closely handling this case, they have one thing to say, that Indo-Pacific is their priority. The India-US relations are their priority. But at the same time, the judicial system in US and the courts and the Justice Department works independently. And
Huh.
that is a process which they are meant to follow. And that is exactly what they are doing. And in fact, look at the statements that have been coming from US. There have been multiple statements made, but in none of the statements the line has been crossed by any of the spokesperson or the high-ranking officials of the government of United States, from Secretary Blinken to the spokesperson of White House and spokesperson of the State Department, because they also understand that this particular case is about the nexus of the criminals, about the nexus of gun runners, the transnational syndicate that works, and the priority, the larger, if you look at the larger vision, the larger perspective, then the priority is Indo-Pacific. The priority is India-US ties and the way both nations are collaborating in multiple verticals. The priority is that, and that is one reason that this could be a part of a discussion, or perhaps if 10 points are being discussed, so this would be one point in those 10 points. But this particular Pannun discussion, or perhaps the committee being set up, cannot dominate the full conversation. Not just this time around when FBI officials will visit, but even otherwise also. So this is one of the issue, but not and surely not it's going to dominate the strategic dialogue with India, or for that matter the larger policy issues. That's for sure.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Siddhant, for putting all of that into perspective.